Tom was right. Everyone waves. All right, what's up, guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 1992 Toyota Previa. Below me is a 2.4-liter inline-4, as well as a 4-speed automatic transmission. Guys, I am excited to be driving this here Previa because look at it. Look at how weird it is. Now, this one has been modified. This is not a completely stock Previa, and we'll get into that a little bit later on. Now, before we get on to the rest of the video, if you guys are interested in selling your car, please click the link in the description below. Cashforcars.com will buy your car with a salvage title, good title, running, non-running, whatever it is. Please go support the channel by clicking the link in the description below. You can get a fast and easy quote for free, and they will pick up your vehicle in less than 24 hours. But let's get back to that 2.4-liter inline-4. It is actually found underneath the driver and passenger seat of the van. That's right, this is actually a mid-engined minivan. If that doesn't blow your mind, the Previa was available in manual, in all-wheel drive, or rear-wheel drive like this one, and you could even get them supercharged from the factory back in the 90s. That is really, really cool. And it makes this van so unique. And that's why the Previa is so noticeable and so fondly remembered here in the 2000s. So I'll put the horsepower and torque up on the screen of the stock Previa. It's not impressive. The stock motor is not powerful. And that's really not the point. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Like I said, paired to it is an automatic transmission, but you could get a manual if that's something that you really desire. The automatic is shifting fine. It's working. It's not really doing too much legwork. It's pretty average. Last but not least, like I mentioned earlier, the Previa is rear-wheel drive. However, there was an all-wheel drive version offered as well. Now, speaking of those modifications Tom has done himself, he has done the exhaust. Yeah, you know, that's a thing. So let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have a bunch of different gauges. On the far left is my coolant temperature. Then I have my speedometer in the middle, very oval shaped. And then on the right is my fuel, and I have warning lights sprinkled throughout. The gauge cluster is really far away from me. This whole interior is very, very spacious. The steering wheel has nothing on it except for cruise control at the bottom right, and of course the big pillowy airbag and the horn button. To the left of me, I just have my gauge dimmer switch. Then on the door, I have my power windows, power locks, and power mirrors. Moving into the center, this is a very oddly shaped climate controls. Very interesting here. I have AC, defrosters, fan controls, things like that. Nothing really too insane. However, it's just all shaped very odd. I don't really know how to describe it other than that. I do have an aftermarket radio because, of course, every radio from the 90s was garbage. And then my pop-out cup holders, 12-volt outlet, and ashtray. This is all very 90s Toyota. And the reason I say that is because I actually recently drove a Toyota Hiace van from Japan and had this sort of same layout, which is interesting. I don't actually get a center console. Now, Tom has put a little organizer down here so he can keep stuff, but there's no factory center console in between the seats, which is very, very interesting. Speaking of the seats are very comfortable. They're 90s Toyota. They're plush. They're soft. I enjoy them. I like them a lot. Before we move on to the back seats, one interesting thing actually off to my left, this is where you'll find the handbrake. Normally, in vehicles, the handbrake is in the center of the vehicle. But no. Not in the Previa. It's to your left. You have to step over it in order to get in to the vehicle. The great thing about the interior is the interior space. If you look over at the passenger side, yes, there's a glove box, but like, look, it's like a table. I mean, this thing really feels like a spaceship in here because it really looks like one. It has this big front sloping windshield that really gives you all the visibility you would ever want. I can see the whole world out in front of me. I don't really have any blind spots. And that's a huge, huge benefit of the Previa. But with that out of the way, let's go take a look at what's left of the back seats. One super fun thing about the Previa is the fact that these door handles always break on the outside. So we are in the back of the 92 Previa. Normally there would be a second row here. Tom has removed the second row for this reason. It's super comfy back here. I mean, look, we just have the two seats. Normally there's 3 rows, but you can actually remove the second row. There's these little hooks. Bada bing, bada boom. You, my guy, have your own lounge. Now, the cool thing about this is that you have your own lounge. If you take this out to track days, your friends are out throwing sweet tandems. I mean, that's a Chrysler Town and Country, but pretend it's someone throwing sweet tandems. You could chill in here, have a brew, hang out with your buds. The bad thing about this is if you are traveling literally anywhere, this van has such a poor crash safety test rating that you would really get screwed really anywhere in the van. But yeah, the crash test is not great. Tom has put the constellations up on the ceiling to really wow his guests. And what's interesting is that I have this sort of huge Toyota branded HVAC system. It looks like I called some of my union friends to install this HVAC system. I think it's really funny. That is a factory part actually. But if you want a cool hangout spot, try a 92 Previa. Now we gotta talk about the looks. Like I said, this is a modified Previa. The wheels are not factory, the fender flares are not factory. Normally the Previa has front and rear bumpers. I'll try to show a stock image here of what it used to look like. But Tom, the owner, which thank you Tom for letting me do this review, has changed it quite a bit. Put the pink bash bar on the front, improper wheels at the front and back. The back wheels are actually Jeep wheels. And so with all that being said, here's what I love about not only this Previa, but Previas in general. This car is owned by my friend Tom. He has done all the work to it himself. This car has 203,000 miles on it, and this is currently his daily driver, although that'll probably change soon. But he's done all this stuff to it just for fun. It's a Previa. It works every single day. Yes, the engine is hard to get to, but he hasn't had to touch it. He did a blower motor, but luckily it's under that front hood and not the worst thing to get to in the world. He didn't have to rip the dash out. This car is reliable. It's solid. He knows what he has. When you buy an old Toyota product like this, you know what you're getting into. There's no ifs and or but, it's not like, oof, it might. No, this thing will last forever. Yeah, Tom's gonna get rid of it, but honestly, there's a couple years left in this thing. Maybe not here in the Midwestern Salt, but in a state that doesn't salt their roads, these things will be on the road forever. Yes, this van is just kind of tossed together. No, it doesn't conform to typical styles of society. It's not really a stance car. It's not really a drift car. It's not really a VIP build, but it has its own unique style. And it smells like every other old Toyota that I've driven. I don't know what it is. I don't know what makes it smell like that, but it smells the same. And I just noticed this fun little thing is every bump that I hit on this road, the open door light illuminates. Just another little characteristic, we'll call it, of this Previa. Letter 8. Now this van might not be my cup of tea, but Toyota reliability from the 90s, that is my cup of tea. And that's exactly what the Previa is. Your Previa probably won't look like this, but it'll function like this. And that is good. That helps me sleep at night, knowing that Toyota reliability has our backs in even our darkest days. And honestly, it is kind of fun to drive. Not gonna lie. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Tom for letting me take out his Previa. This thing is weird, but I don't think I'd want it any other way. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.